one ministry. We had a two-pronged approach to Tibet. One, catering for students who would terminate at grade 9, and the other one for students who would, of course, graduate at grade 12, but want to further their studies in the area of skills, technical areas. All right? So we have a program for lower tertiary and a program at the tertiary level for Tibet. All right, now, because it was one ministry, the ministry was responsible for skills training for post-basic and, technical training, for post-secondary. Now that we have two separate ministries with two separate mandates, MOHAST has gone with skills training. The NTA is within MOHAST, and the NTA is the regulatory body for skills training. Okay? Now, perhaps what we should endeavor, to agree between the two ministries is to carve out an institutional home for Tibet, but limited to post-basic programs. But you must also understand that you have some Tibet programs that do not only respond to post-basic students, but they also cater for unschooled students, children. All right, in the community, in the villages. All right, where is the home for skills training for that category of the population? Is it still MOHAST, or will it be at MOPSI? I think this is something that we need to agree. Okay? Now, for non-formal, I think we have now moved beyond, providing literacy and, getting our literacy learners, our adult learners, to stop at literacy. That we have attempts, we have made attempts, all right, to graduate them at the level of post-literacy programs. Which means that literacy programs will have to be vocationalized. And we have a frame of reference that today our literacy program can use for skills. And this is the National Skills Qualification Framework developed by NTA. So skills, I think, is key in the literacy program, and there is an advancement today by using that framework. This is why in the policy statement, you have this level of certification for level 3 for our learners. In the past, we did not have, of course we had pedagogical phases for literacy, but we did not have levels. That this learner, yes, has gone through all the pedagogical phases of literacy and has attained level 1. Just like in the formal, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. With concrete evidence. So that when that learner stops at a particular level, all right, and wants to continue to the second level, there will be evidence of prior knowledge that is contained in that level, at that level. All right, but now I think we are going past that stage. Now, Group 4 talked about the enforcement of compulsory education. I'll leave that with the permanent secretary.
Planning.
This one.
Director of planning.
Yes. I'm not sure if we are at the stage where we can actually enforce, compulsory education. Group 6. Yeah, the statistics on literacy is worrying. But do you want us to further investigate because it is worrying, or do you want us to further investigate because you think it's not accurate? We just want to know. Yeah. But if it is worrying, of course, let's think about strategies, that would, of course, further reduce the level of illiteracy. But if you have a hazy mind about the quality of the data in terms of inaccuracy, let us know so that we try to find out. I think essentially the eyes of the groups are sharper than the eyes of MOPSI. And we are very much pleased, with the outcome of the group work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
0 to 3. Yeah, but that's part of the ECD, integrated approach. All right. Yes, the issue of ECD has kept coming virtually in all fora during the process. Now, what we have done, if you are very observant, we have not used levels of education, as sub-themes. Lower basic is not reflected as a sub-theme. Upper basic is not. Senior secondary is not. And the same for early childhood development. Early childhood development is a level of education. Now, basically what we are dealing with the flesh. Now, these levels are the bones. We are not touching the bones. We're only touching the flesh. And once we build consensus on the flesh, all right, we believe the bone will be stronger. So that's it. Eventually it will come.
Another issue that
for formal schooling, can even go for some assistance. Like when a child has some hearing impairment, but would not require permanent delivery of instruction, at a particular place, at a particular resource center, can go and receive some aid and go back to the normal school. But for kids who would require, particularly kids with profound, level of disability, all right, will of course be taken to those resource centers. Just like we have Gobi and, School for the Deaf.
Thank you.
Join Mr. Sane in thanking the groups for what I would consider an excellent job, because I think they really looked at the proposals in detail and came out with some very, useful suggestions that will help us, in the drafting of the policy. I just want to comment on a few of the issues raised. Although Mr. Sane has touched on one or two of them, but I think the issue of regulating the fees in the private schools is something that I believe we need to put in a proper context. If we are talking about provision of education by the private sector, we must be prepared to maintain some principles that guide the private provision of services. Therefore, if you want to go to the extent of saying to the private school, you must not charge beyond $100 per term or $1,000 per term, you are defeating the whole purpose of private, provision of services. There must be some element of market forces. I'm glad that Mr. Balde talked about Pura. What Pura is doing is not fixing prices. Even if you look at the GSM providers, Pura did not tell any one of them that you should charge $2.50 or $3. No. What they are doing is, which I think we will have to do, in a very comprehensive manner as a ministry, is to provide the public with the necessary information so that whoever wants to, choose would be able to do so, in an informed manner. For example, if a school is providing, I have made this, comment over and over again. If a school is providing, swimming facilities, it's providing food, It's providing, let's say French or Italian as part of Spanish. Who am I to say to that school, you should not charge $1,000 because a school that is only providing English and there is not even a basketball court in the school is charging $100. But what I can do as a ministry is to tell the parents that school X is providing a range of services from A to Z. All right? And it's charging X amount of dollars. What we can regulate is to make sure that once the school says, I'm going to provide A, B, C, D, and E, they cannot remove D at some point or E at some point. That we can regulate. But we cannot tell the school charge X or charge Y. And I think in the policy document, we will be very clear about, about that. Yeah. Study fees again. Let's be realistic. Mata, you did not attend study classes as, it's happening right now in our schools. It's unethical, it's unprofessional the way it is happening. And I don't think we should entertain it. What is happening right now with regard to study fees, I don't think, regulating it is going to solve the problem. Banning it is what is going to solve the problem, and try to make sure that we provide the school with the necessary grants so that the unnecessary levies will be out. We have tried, at some point I even said, I wished I could go back to the days of the former Minister of Education, the late Alhaji Kamabaji, who just banned studies in the